That class has changed homeroom teachers 4 times this year, right?
Yes, including the teacher who is about to transfer to our school, he is the fifth person.
How long do you think he will last?
Probably the same as before.
I'm just a subject teacher, but I can't stand them. I was almost hospitalized the other day with a head injury. Can you imagine? They hit me with a chair just because I punished them for dropping out of school.
Not yet. The day before, they even stopped me in front of the school gate because I punished them for being too noisy in the class. Fortunately, there was a police patrol passing by the school.
We're still lucky. I heard that the previous homeroom teachers were mentally threatened by them to the point of leaving the education job.
It's lunch break right now, and the entire staff room at the 10th high school is passionately discussing about the teacher who is about to transfer to this school and about that most terrifying class. X High School is a prestigious all-boys school in the area. The school's policy is to emphasize the importance of education. So we do not want any kind of affection mixed in school life. So, not only all the students in this school are male, but also the teachers are male. Thanks to this rather special education method that for a long time, the 10th high school has been the first choice of rich and powerful families. However, nothing in this world is perfect. In this school, there is still a class that people tremble when talking about, that is Class 10D. Class 10D is located in a row of classrooms that are completely isolated from the other classrooms. Of course, the previous classes 10D are not there either. This row of classrooms was just built this year. The reason is because no one can stand the students in Class 10D this year. The school year has only just begun for 6 months, but many students and teachers have been hospitalized or permanently left school because of Class 10D. However, no one dares to touch 10D students, because this is the place where the most powerful family members gather in the country. The sound of the door opening interrupted the lively discussion of the teachers. In front of the staff room were now 2 men. One of them everyone knows is the principal of the 10th high school. Standing next to him is a thin young man wearing glasses. This young man possesses a relatively feminine face. Waiting around for order, the principal introduced.
Hello, teachers. The teachers must have guessed, this is the teacher who just transferred to our school. This is Mr. Deva, who just graduated from the Pedagogical University not long ago. He will officially take over Class 10D at X High School this year.
Mr. Deva, in the principal's words, bowed to everyone when the principal finished his introduction. At this time, the surrounding teachers began to mutter and discuss.
Done. The former homeroom teacher of Class 10D is muscular, and was forced to quit his job by that class. Someone who looks like a woman like him would die.
Despite the staff room whispering loudly about him, the teacher David didn't seem to care at all.
My name is Deva, an excellent graduate student at the Pedagogical University in this city. My achievements have always been at the top since I started school, so when I graduate from high school, everyone thinks that I will go to a top university like University of Technology or Medicine and Pharmacy University. However, only I know that's not very possible. I come from a poor family, both parents are farmers. My parents worked hard for many years to take care of me until I finish high school. That's the limit already. Tuition at universities in my country are relatively expensive. Even if I worked part-time almost every day of the week, it wouldn't be enough to pay for the full tuition. That is taking into account the case where I had the most advanced scholarship. That's why I decided to choose Pedagogical University. In my country, education is always appreciated, so as long as I have a scholarship and always maintain good results during my studies, my tuition will be completely waived. So, if I work part-time job crazily but still can't pay the expensive tuition of high-class universities, I would rather use that part-time money to learn more knowledge and live my university years in peace at a free university. But at the Pedagogical University, students here have only one path after graduation, which is to become teachers. To be honest, teaching is not my favorite profession, but I don't feel reluctant to work it either. At least, I can help my parents. In addition, it is also quite useful to pass on the knowledge you have acquired to others. But the pedagogical path is also not a smooth one. The number of graduates from this university is many times larger than the number of teachers needed in schools, so not every graduate can become a teacher. To be more precise, just graduating and becoming a teacher is a blessing that every student at the pedagogical university wishes for. So when I received an offer to teach at the prestigious the 10th high school, I immediately nodded in agreement without listening to the conditions. Opportunities sometimes only come once, so I have to cherish it. I'm standing in front of the room of class 10D. In the distance, I heard the commotion of the students. I find it very strange why this class I am about to take over is located in a row of classroom completely separate from the rest of the school. As soon as I opened the classroom door, a basin of water suddenly poured down on me, making my whole body wet. Immediately, a burst of laughter rang out.
Another wet rat has come to this class.
I heard a student's voice as I wiped my glasses with my shirt. Darn. Maybe I already know why a high-class school like X would hire a fresh graduate like me. This is all about finding someone to take the fight to, not a homeroom teacher. I have never come across such a special class. Noisy everywhere, students running around the classroom, sitting on the desks talking without respect for anyone. However, I still calmly walked up to the podium and introduced myself. Hello everyone, I'm Deva, the homeroom teacher of this class from now until the end of the school year. As soon as I finished my sentence, a book flew from the back of the classroom at a very high speed and came in front of me. I reacted very quickly, reaching up to capture the book when it was just inches from my face.
You are wrong. You won't teach us until the end of the year.
The student who threw the book spoke up in a mocking voice. I looked at that student with cold eyes. The student who just threw a book, come up here. The student very calmly walked up to me. When he was still a few feet away from me, he suddenly ran up to me with his hand about to punch me, and said,
A man look like a girl like you dare to speak arrogantly here?
Downstairs in the classroom, all the students were laughing mockingly with the mentality of watching fun. But a second later, the whole classroom was silent. I wasn't lying flat like this student thought, on the contrary, my hand caught his fist. I used to say that I use part-time money to supplement my knowledge, right? Yes, and one of them is karate. I said. Looks like this class isn't too peaceful, right? I will find a way to treat you. After saying that, I walked out of the room of class 10D. The whole class was still silence, the student who was about to punch me was even more speechless.
After a while, a student with a smart face smiled and said,
Wow, this new teacher is interesting. The old homeroom teacher was several times the more muscular than this slim guy and couldn't even stand a punch from Carrie. This guy can caught Carrie's fist. But in this class, just that much ability isn't enough to last.
I walked out of the classroom hallway with my arm aching excruciatingly. Although I parried that student's punch, my arm wasn't comfortable at all. Furthermore, I realized that just fighting ability is not enough to stabilize this class. I am very confident in my knowledge and ability to teach, but first of all, students must want to listen, otherwise everything is meaningless. I also took many psychology classes, so I thought there was a way I could apply in this case. While this seems difficult, it's the only way I can think of right now.
From the window of the staff room, a middle-aged teacher said to the other teachers,
Hey everyone, the new homeroom teacher of class 10D has already run away from school. This is probably the shortest record.
Another teacher shook his head.
No way. He just graduated from university. It's only natural that he can't handle the class.
Yes, I did leave school. However, I did not leave school because I was afraid of class 10D as other teachers said, but I was preparing for my plan. 15 minutes later, I stopped at a busy shopping area. Right in front of me is a shop selling women's lingerie. I opened the door and walked straight into the pink painted shop without much hesitation.